Welcome to the NBA 2K G League show. I'm your host, Trey, and welcome to the show. So let's get straight into today's recap of day one of the G League showcase. Some players who stood out to me, first of all, for Greensboro was Reggie Perry. Reggie Perry had 19 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 assists. And this isn't like he's done this the first time this season. He's been doing this pretty consistently for the Swarm. He came over from China in early November, and he ended up taking the starting spot about maybe like 2 or 3 games like down a season. So he has been really good for the Swarm. Kelley has also been good for the South Bay Lakers. He had 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Kelley, he was a training camp player with the LA Lakers as an Exhibit 10. He's played actually with the main Celtics last year, and he was the leading shot blocker for the G League. But what really, to me, is promising and what I think has really stood out is the 11 rebounds. I think coming out of college, Kelley, his rebounding wasn't really his strongest suit, and to see him getting 11 rebounds today, I think that's really huge. Oh, and yeah, he also had like 18 points, which I think is just awesome. Now, I want to talk about Leonard Miller next, because as I said in my earlier video, he's been doing very good this year with the Iowa Wolves, and he had 28 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists for the Wolves tonight. So yes, I think he has been very good, and he continues to look good for Iowa. For Stockton, I thought Terry Taylor looked really good today. He had 20 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. He's somebody who was with Chicago last year and is trying to show that he can still play in the NBA. And so, it's great to see that he had a really good game today. And then if you're a Denver Nuggets fan, I think you have to be excited about Trey Alexander because, look, the Nuggets are in a situation where they're getting tight when it comes to their financial situation. You also have to think about the future because they literally last year drafted 3 players: Jalen Pickett, Hunter Tyson, Julian Strawford, and it was huge that they went out and got Trey Alexander because I thought Trey Alexander was probably one of the best undrafted players from this draft, and so it was a huge steal. And I think if Russell Westbrook does not come back with Denver, he's somebody who's really going to be trying to show Michael Malone that he can become the backup point guard for the Denver Nuggets. Oh yeah, and he had 33 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals. Now, for OKC Blue, this is somebody who I feel has been on my radar, honestly, since the beginning or end of last season. I came across him, and I didn't realize this about him, but his name is JaVonte Cooke. So JaVonte Cooke stands out to me because he is a D3 to D2 player who has been playing the G League for 3 seasons now, and I think that's huge. I really am high on guys who come from D3 to D1 or D2 programs because to see their rise, I think is always really important to look at their work ethic. If you look at Keon Ellis, who is an example, if you look at Jalen Wells right now, these are guys who played at the D2 level and then went up to D1. If you look at Derek White, who is probably the best example, I just think if you look at JaVonte Cooke having 25 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal, that's huge. His rookie season, he had 10 points a game. His second season, he had 18, and he was shooting like 40% now from 3. So I think he's definitely been somebody who's been trending in the right direction. And, he also got hurt during Summer League, which was, he got hurt before Summer League. He was supposed to play for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And, so to see that the Thunder gave him a chance and to see that he's been, having a good season this year, I'm really excited about JaVonte Cooke. And also, somebody who has been good this year, I think, for the Blue is Logan Johnson. I thought he's been looking great. I mean, there's points where he's getting triple doubles with the OKC Blue. And, I mean, this isn't like the first time he's done this season. So I've been really impressed by Logan Johnson. He had 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists in about 34 minutes today for the Blue. So for the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, Jermaine Samuels, he had 25 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Now, he is trying to show, scouts he deserves to be back in the NBA. He was on a 2-way contract with the Houston Rockets last year. He was able to come back with the Rockets with Rio Grande Valley after they traded for his returning rights. And, this has been a good situation because he's really showing this season why he deserves to be in the NBA. And today was probably another, good game for him, as he's showing these scouts. Okay, well, get into this next game. The Capital City Go-Go lost to the Sioux Falls Skyforce. I'll start with the Skyforce. I thought the Skyforce looked good. I mean, Josh Christopher, and I did even talk about this in the description of my previous video from early today. I was really curious how they were going to stop him because I was wondering who was going to be defending him because I know Josh Christopher can really score the ball. But Josh Christopher had 35 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. And something to look at if you're a Heat fan is Isaiah Stevens. Now, recently, if you know about the Thomas Bryant trade to the Indiana Pacers, they now have an open roster spot. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because you can convert Drew Smith, who has been playing minutes, regularly for the Miami Heat. And if they do that, you can bring Isaiah Stevens potentially on that 2-way contract. I'm sure scouts, from the Heat probably want to see who else they could potentially fill in that 2-way spot. But, it's just something to keep in mind because Isaiah Stevens has been having a good year with the Skyforce. And he was also with the Heat on a 2-way contract before Josh Christopher had a really great summer league. But he is somebody who I think is definitely on the radar for the Heat. And now I'm going to talk about the Go-Go. Now, to me, the standout player is Erik Stevenson. Personally, I will say this is my personal opinion. I think Erik Stevenson should be on a 2-way contract right now. He has really, really looked very good. He has been points averaging over 20 a game. He took a really big jump between his rookie and his second year right now. And honestly, I really think he deserves a chance. He's shooting really well. I think he shoots 45% from 3. On Twitter, I saw a video where he was taking 4 charges, throughout the season. And I even remember actually watching his summer league where he even took a charge during the Wizards summer league game. I mean, that is huge. I always think about those little things. He is willing to do those things, and he's shooting the ball well. I think maybe one thing, I wonder if this is what is holding him back. Well, maybe what the scouts are thinking is turnovers. But if I'm being honest, you have to look at the Go-Go this year. They didn't have Kira Lewis, and so Erik Stevenson was having to play the backup point guard. But in honesty, in the NBA, Erik Stevenson's probably not going to be the point guard. He's going to be more of a 2. And I think he has the ability to, go into the lane, to, hit off dribble shots or to, pull up. I mean, I think he can do those type of things. So I don't think he needs to be a playmaker at the next level. I honestly think, if he can score the ball in, 3 different ways like he has been, I think that's going to be huge, for a team. So I think part of that is also the turnovers that I think because Capital City does have, they do move the ball around a lot. So I think part of that is another reason why you might have more turnovers. But I think that is, an important thing to keep in mind. Mamadi Diakite had a really great game for the Valley Suns, had 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal. He had 4 threes, which is really good. I don't think, at least I can't remember when I was at UVA if he had shot a lot of threes during his career. So, but yeah, that was something I thought was very encouraging. And Jaden Shackelford continues to look really good for the Valley Suns. There's been multiple games where he's had 40 points. This is really an important 2 games for him in the showcase to show scouts why he deserves a 2-way contract and deserves to be in the NBA. So, and he's also a winner. He won last year with the OKC Blue like a NBA G League championship. So I'm really excited to see him continue to play and hopefully continue to have some really great games. This last player that I'm going to talk about is Chris Duarte. He had 36 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals while shooting 5 threes out of 11, so 45% from 3. He had a really great game with Windy City today. Like I kind of talked about earlier, this is really important to show to other NBA teams why they should trade for him, because he's on an expiring contract. So yeah, I thought this was really encouraging. All right, so let's get into the preview for tomorrow's games. I think, to me, the big things that are going to stand out are probably the Mexico City Capitanas and Rip City Remix game, just because there's some prospects coming up for, I guess, next year's draft. And so you have Dink Pate of the Capitanas, and I'm actually really curious how the Capitanas are going to look now that they don't have Luis King. I'm wondering if that means Dink Pate's going to be getting more minutes with the Capitanas. And I think if so, that's a really good situation, especially, with the showcase. Rip City Remix, you have Tyree Darlin, and you also have the international draft player that the Remix drafted in July, Isaac Nunez, if I am pronouncing his last name right, which I think I am. Nunez had 10 steals in a G League game, which I thought was really impressive. And so he's somebody I'm also wanting to keep an eye out on for tomorrow's game. Going to the Salt Lake City Stars and Cleveland Charge game, Emoni Bates is someone I also want to see how he's looking, especially after he had the stress fracture and he got hurt earlier this season. Also, the Jazz have all 3 of their rookies playing in the showcase: Kyle Filipowski, Isaiah Collier, and Cody Williams. The Jazz don't play again until I believe on Saturday. So they don't play. They play the Brooklyn Nets, and so it was a good idea because they had the time, and maybe that those 3 guys won't play against Brooklyn on Saturday, then they can just play again with the Salt Lake City Stars on Sunday. The last game to watch, in my opinion, is the Rio Grande Valley Vipers and the Indiana Madians. Now, really, I'm going to focus on Jahlil Okafor. Jahlil Okafor had last played in the showcase about 2 to 3 years ago with the Mexico City Capitanas, and then he tore, I think it was his ACL maybe, but it was a really unfortunate injury because he was having a really good year with the Capitanas, and so that this is really important to him tomorrow to play again. After having such a unfortunate injury, to see him work himself back up and to play again in the G League and try to make it back to the NBA, it's going to be huge for him to show what he can do for NBA teams. But I think this is it for this video. Thank you for listening. Always appreciate the support. And if you like this video, if you watch this video, feel free to subscribe, like, or dislike, because hey, you do you. So this is Varun Charya, and I'll see you later. Bye.